Welcome to Whose Review Matters Anyway, the podcast where the show notes are made up and the reviews don't matter, just like any support for Marvel's The Avengers video game. Because it's done after September. No more support. If you bought DLC, you're out of luck, dumbasses.
What do you mean, like
They're, no,
DLC?
no. Well, they've been selling out characters every once in a while,
Uh huh.
and so but after September this year, they're not supporting the game anymore. Like they're
So,
done.
so what happens with the DLC?
You're shit out of luck, I guess.
No way.
Goddamn.
No way.
Really?
I don't
Did
know.
the
I mean, like,
Spider-Man come out?
you're not gonna get like any more stories. You're not. I don't even know if online servers are still gonna be up. Now that I think about it. So the, I mean, I didn't read the article full in depth because obviously I didn't care as much about the game. But Square Enix apparently, or Crystal Dynamics, like sold a DLC just recently, and then literally the day after, they're like, "Yeah, sorry, by the way, we're not going to support this game anymore after September 2023."
The day after.
Yeah. Well, at least that's what the headline said. But again, I don't care enough to really dive deep into the headlines.
Okay.
It's done. Like they're not gonna do anything anymore with this game.
Well, that game is a fail anyway, so that early? Fuck.
If they had just let Spider-Man be on any console.
But
Just
even did
saying.
that DLC came out?
That's a good question. It did. Eventually it did.
But I'm wondering if it was worth it or not. Even
No
if
one
it's
talks
like,
about the game though. Like the only thing I ever hear about the game is that it's so repetitively boring that it's just not. Sometimes it's not even worth playing anymore.
well, that's the thing though. Even if Spider-Man was for both consoles, I still think the game would have flopped.
I would have invested.
That's why I've been playing
Mm.
Spider-Man 2.
Amazing
What?
Spider-Man.
Enter Electro, the PlayStation 1 game?
No. Oh, you didn't get that? The new. Oh, okay. Never mind.
What? You got a review copy? Yo, hook me up.
Man, I missed that game.
Man, New Year.
Happy New
Right?
Year's.
You're right. Well, we already
Super
did it.
late New Year's.
Well, we already did our New Year's kind of episode with our last episode. It's just been like 3 weeks. 3 weeks?
Oh shit.
I think
Blame Mike again.
I can't
Sure.
remember if we actually recorded that episode before or after New Year's. Now that I think about it.
I think it was after.
It was after New Year's.
Okay,
Yeah,
it was after New Year's, and it's just because of scheduling issues. Because now, what is it this time? Ham is it's not Hamilton's not in there. So what's causing you to be late nowadays?
Last week was what was it? Sticks.
Please lie.
Sticks and something else, and then
Stones?
this week was Riverdance.
What do you got that Final Fantasy concert coming up soon, don't you?
Yes. I got tickets for someone, and yeah, just still waiting on to see how that turns out.
Are they actually doing like a concert for Final Fantasy, like the soundtracks?
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
No, well, I mean, if you like the music, it's great for the people who like the music. But if you don't, then yeah, of course, it's like, why would you go? They did one. They did one for Pokemon. I think like, oh my gosh, when was it? 5 years ago, I want to say 5 or 6
Yeah, but
years ago?
Pokemon isn't really like orchestra based though.
No, it's from the video games. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but isn't Final Fantasy actually have like an actual like sort of orchestra based songs?
Yeah, but
all
I
the
thought
Japanese games do.
Yeah, all of them do. Like even Kingdom Hearts. I think they even did a Kingdom Hearts concert too.
Yeah, I think they did do Kingdom Hearts. I think there was. I want to say there was a Zelda one, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, there was a Zelda one. Yes, there was. There's a
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas as well too.
Wow. But yeah, I mean,
couple.
I was just. I knew they were coming. Sonic is supposed to get one this year too. I thought. So
yeah, you mentioned, but no, I don't know. Probably not.
That's a 10-minute concert.
Yeah, you just talk about the Pokemon one. I'm just hearing the classics. Yeah, I don't.
Well, yeah, I mean that was one of them.
Oh my god!
They played like I think like the most popular from like each generation leading up to at that point it was like Sun and Moon. So it was still a 3DS game. That's what they did, and it was great. Like I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. I would imagine for the Final Fantasy fans, like they would very much enjoy this concert too.
Yeah.
We'll
see.
Yeah, sure.
I've never played a Final Fantasy game, so I still don't know.
Me neither.
The only Final Fantasy game I played was the remake of 7. That was really good. The soundtrack was good on that one too.
See, there you go. Go to the concert. You enjoy it.
I'm good.
Speaking of things to enjoy, Well, actually, this would have been a weird twist if I had just said, Megan, Mike, how was Megan? And that would have been like really odd. Mike, you want to talk about Megan, the movie, not an
the
actual person.
not an
Maybe?
actual
I don't
person.
know.
No,
I
no, no,
never
not
seen the movie,
Megan.
so I don't know
That's
what
gonna
it's like.
be the worst part is that the title has a three on it, so it's like, hey, how's Megan? And people will see the three is like, whoa, that's weird.
Is that like is that a thing they address in the movie?
No, it's just honestly they were just trying to be cutesy with the title, and for some reason the transition for that little thing of the three bars they made it into a three, but they never really discussed that in the movie. That's just a random three. I don't know why. It's supposed to be like a
So,
processor.
oh, is that well? So yeah, that's I would assume that's it, right? I mean, is that what they said? Like it's a 3.0 chip or something? Like a three
No, no,
version
nothing.
three or
No,
no?
no,
All right.
no. So it's like
I
awkward.
wonder if there's a movie called Megan, but they couldn't spell it the right way.
There actually is a movie called Megan, um, but it's like a different type of movie.
Well, no,
So I'm
that's what I'm
guess,
saying. So they had to put
yeah.
that three in to be like Megan.
Or maybe this was the third film, and they're setting themselves up so that way they can do prequels.
Well, actually, that what?
Becky was probably the first movie.
Yep,
Oh
yep,
yeah,
yep,
for
yep,
sure,
yep.
for sure. All right, so my quick review of the movie. This is the first movie that I've seen of the year 2023.
It is January.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm the only one that saw it, so I told you, hey, we should watch it, but you guys were like, no, fuck that movie. The movie looks stupid and this and that.
Mhm.
So, what would I give it? Would I recommend it? What I thought about it? Put your seatbelt, guys. We're going to go for a little ride.
I'm already out the car. No.
Fuck.
I jumped out too.
This movie, honestly, it's a mixed bag for me. There's parts that I want to give it a green card. There's parts I want to give it a yellow card. But this movie does not get a red card whatsoever. It's
So
never.
yellow it is.
So I am going to give it a yellow because of the rating of the movie, right? I think this movie brings a lot of interesting new takes of it, of like maybe like in the future they'll probably do this film again, but maybe a little bit better. This movie does try to it shies away from the violence, even though the violence is happening, and it's about to the moment that it's about to go down, they shy away from it, and that what takes it away from me. It's
So what
like,
is it? Is it PG-13?
fuck, it's a PG-13 movie, but it deserves
Uh,
to be a rated R because does anybody remember that Chucky movie with Mark Hamill voice,
Huh?
the remake?
with Audrey Plaza?
Well, Audrey Plaza, yeah, Mark Hamill was the voice actor for
I did
Chucky.
not see that
I did
because
not know that.
no, I
Yeah,
didn't see it.
well, whatever that movie was trying to do, fucking failed, and this movie did the same thing what Chucky was trying to do, but succeeded. So this movie was actually a very surprising of how actually good the film is. I had a good time. I was entertained from beginning to end. There's a couple things that's kind of silly, but the movie actually uses that as a strength, and it's actually pretty interesting of how things turned out to be in the film. I think the actors did a good job. They were having fun with it. The violence is really good. The ending was okay. It wasn't bad. Like I said, could have been a rated R movie, and I think this movie would have definitely took my green card. I was enjoying it the whole entire way. I thought it was a good popcorn flick to probably like sit down and watch it with your friends and stuff like that. Would I recommend like running to the theaters and watching it? No, you can honestly wait until they have it like maybe on streaming and somewhat or rented for a couple bucks. But regardless, I still think you people will find things to enjoy about this movie, and it's really good. It's like one of those films that I can see them building a haunted house on, or
Hmm.
being like a cult, like a what's that cult
Oh, classic.
classic ish, you know? I enjoyed it. I will watch it. I would recommend it for especially for the horror fans out there. So
So
it's a yellow card for me. The only reason why I didn't get the green card was because literally the PG-13. Like
You want them to go further with it,
I want them to go further with it, and they had the chance to do it,
and they didn't.
and
Okay.
they didn't. So give it a try, guys. I would recommend it.
I heard it was mostly entertaining. Like whether it was like scary or just for comedic moments, it was just entertaining overall. That's what I heard
Yeah,
mostly about. Yeah.
and what
yeah,
I
it's interesting.
saw is I think it made enough money where they're already trying or already are thinking about a sequel.
A sequel.
They'll call it
I
Ashley, and the A's a 4.
I could.
Uh-huh.
They call it Abby.
Mm, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. There you go, Megan. Ham, you saw that '90s show.
Also, the movie I saw in 2023 was what is that movie? I don't House Party.
Oh God.
Yes.
Party.
Yes.
We walked out.
Oh, is that bad?
Yes, it is bad. It is so bad
House Party. Why does that sound familiar?
Oh, it's
because
the
it's a
remake.
remake of the original House Party, and it was just there's one part that I thought was funny, and that's um the part at the end, which I found a streaming service that was having it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I could not finish it. So yeah, not worth it. I would probably give it a Becky card if I could, but it was. I think it's supposed to be a comedy, and
But what was it? It was just trying too hard, and none of the jokes were landing.
none of the jokes landed. Maybe two or three, and it's just dumb. It really like I don't see the funny in
Or the point of it.
95% of the movie.
Mm.
So it really
Fuck.
was dumb. I
So I'm guessing a yellow card.
I just said I would give it a Becky if I could. But the '90s show. Let's talk about that. Something that's on Netflix right now, and it has, I believe, 10 episodes. Cameos from the original cast. Yeah, I'll give it a green. I think it was done well. I mean, it's different, a little different, but also the same. Um, if they actually get a second season, I'd like to see how that goes.
Are all the cameos like kind of at the front of the season?
No, it's sprinkled throughout.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Everybody, or are we missing somebody?
well, we know we're missing someone because of the
Oh,
courts and the accusations or the actual stuff. They never really
Is that high?
hide. Yes,
High.
correct.
What happened to him?
You didn't know? You didn't hear what he was
No.
accused of doing very, very bad stuff to women?
To women? Jesus Christ,
just
really?
leave it at that. Just leave it at
Yes,
that.
yes.
So what was the
But
explanation for his lack of appearance in the season?
I saw something online that they said, oh, this is how they. I'm like, I don't remember them saying anything about it. So I'd have to recheck or rewatch or even look up that article, but I don't really remember them stating it um in the show. So I don't know. And also there are more cameos from certain people than others, but that's of course the main two that are very famous couldn't really be in a lot of cameos. They're probably in one episode, and you can guess which two. Probably the two richest ones. So yeah,
Couldn't afford him.
well, they don't need to be in the cameo. So I mean, I think that's why they're not really in
Oh,
it as much as other
Damn, really?
people.
Ashton Kutcher's not in it?
He is,
he is
but
in it, but
Oh,
it's
he
briefly.
is in it?
Yes, briefly. So is Mila Kunis, briefly.
The beautiful
Um,
couple.
and then of course, Leo pops up as well.
Oh, Leo, like, what's up, dudes?
Sort of. Yeah, that sure. That's what he sounds like. Uh but the real the original main characters are Kitty and Red. They get more of a spotlight, which is nice, and then the new kids, which they seem very young compared to the original cast, or I'm just older. I don't know.
Is this something worth continuing, or do you think it should
Oh yeah,
stop at
yeah.
this season?
I think if they get in a groove, it could go a long way. But it's also Netflix, so
So they only released 10 first episodes to see if they can get a good
That's everything, though.
well, yeah, that's
vital.
everything nowadays. It's not TV
Mhm.
where you can get 23 episodes a season.
Oh man, which reminds me, Ham, are you caught up with the Boy Meets World podcast?
No, I keep them for Sundays. I
God,
just
I
listen.
can't I can't remember if it's that podcast or the Smallville one, but it's funny how like I think it's more the Smallville one where they talk about like how significantly different it is to create a show now versus like a 22 episode season back then, and like why there was so many filler episodes and blah 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 and all that stuff,
Yeah, that
and their
could
conversation was really interesting when it came around to it. I was like, yeah, yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
that could be either or. I'm actually the last one I listened to today because it is Sunday. Was the last episode of the first season.
For Boy Meets World or Smallville?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I'm not listening to the small one.
You should listen to the Smallville one.
Maybe I did get a sponsored ad for it, so
It eventually, like, I wasn't as strong as Boy Meets World how they started off, but it eventually, like, it got better overall, just like because they just remembering more stuff about how they filmed and everything.
I
So
think maybe if I
I remember
catch up to the Boy Meets World, I'll listen to that.
less commercials than Boy Meets World, that's for sure.
Others I can fast forward. I don't know what the problem is.
I don't want to. All right. I did not watch anything extra. I didn't watch shit. I don't have time for all that, except for, of course, the one thing that we all watched because I feel like we are obligated to. Although maybe Mike was the most excited out of the three of us.
No, I
Uh,
was excited.
yeah, The Last of Us, HBO Max.
Oh! I thought we were talking about the other one, but of course,
No, no, not yet. Not talking about our main topic yet.
but I was excited for Last of Us as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think we. Okay, so
Can't
let's
wait for
let's
the second season, Mike.
let's give some context here before anything else, because we had a man. How many episodes did we dedicate to Last of Us Part Two? Like 2 episodes, and then I remember I had a dialogue about the first game because I played through it before we played the second game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a lot of time talking about Last of Us.
I'm just glad
Um,
it was
And I
very
want to
thorough.
say that's like our review of Last of Us was like the most like listened
I
to
would believe so. Yeah,
in our
Wait, one
podcast.
or two?
two.
Oh, two. I want to say
Two.
like I think we had like when we were starting, we had like 60 listeners in that first.
60 million listeners. Oh my
Yeah,
So
60
god.
okay,
million.
so for Mike's case, Mike loved the first Last of Us game,
Praised it to
hated the
me.
second Last of Us game.
Yeah.
Um, I thought the first game was good, just the story was boring because again, given gotta give some context here, I just recently played the first Last of Us, where everybody had played it right when like the whole zombie thing was like a big deal or whatever.
I don't
So
think it was though
I think it was. I
No,
think
it
we
was.
when
didn't.
It
it came
was.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
when the
was
first
because
game
Walking
came out,
Dead, Dying
the
Light.
first original version, not like the remastered or the remastered of the remastered, the remake of the remastered of the remastered. The
Yeah.
very first one.
You mean the 4K that's coming
Because
out too? The
I think
Last
it
of Us
was
Part One.
I think it was Walking Dead season 4. I think that's how
It
far
came
back
out.
it came out.
Oh
Yeah.
really? All right.
So
Yeah.
like it was still, I don't want to say it was new, but it was still kind of like blended in with everything because everybody wanted more of that kind of story or whatever. And I think at that time, again, this is just an assumption. The story that they went with the first game was different enough where you didn't know where it would kind of take you, emotionally, or what the characters would do with their motivation, stuff like that. But because again, I came in just recently and I've seen so many of this crap, it's like you didn't really do anything different. So I love the gameplay. I praise the gameplay and everything around it. Just the story wasn't there for me, as opposed to the second one, Last of Us Part Two. I still stand by this, and I can't remember if I said 5 or 10, but it is one of my favorite, like, top 5 or top 10 games of all time. I thought it was really great. I loved every beat to it. I just remember long hour sessions just trying to play through it and get everything. So that's where I was. Ham, I can't remember where you felt. I know you liked both, but did you like one more than the other?
Hmm.
I think he liked part one more, but he was okay with part two.
Well, no, I think I only.
If I remember your review, you were like, "Yeah, it's kind
I
of like
barely remember
post."
my review.
I
Um,
remember it.
I think I like both, but I
He
think
liked
just
both.
but I think maybe the first one over a second, just because it got me into the series. Like if it was mediocre, then I probably wouldn't have played two. So I'm gonna go with the first one. I think.
Okay. I think the same way we did with The Last of Us, because I believe we saved my opinion for last.
Hmm.
And I know, I guarantee one of you two, if not both of you, is gonna bring up Halo in this conversation.
No,
I
wasn't
think we'll
thinking about
just
it.
Wasn't thinking about it either.
I bet Mike was.
J-
I will just save my opinion for last. Because I don't think it'll be all too surprising, but we'll see when we get around to it. First impressions, Mike or him, whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first if you want him.
All right.
So the reason why the show's better than Halo is because I don't know why you would think I would bring up Halo. Okay. The first episode was okay. The gameplay was good. You know, because literally it's a copy and paste from literally the beginning of the game of the first movie for the of the like literally the beginning of the first.
I can argue that, but okay.
I mean,
What's That's not an argument. That is fact.
that is
No,
a
no, no. There's a
fact.
shootout though. There's a shootout between when you're like on the rooftops in the beginning of the game.
I mean, you're talking about like, yeah, sure, like when they're trying to get through the battery and trying to get to this
Yeah.
guy, but they're not. They're gonna take that away. That's not important. They literally grab all the cutscenes of the beginning of the
Okay.
game
Fair.
and
Fair.
made it into the first episode. Of course, they gave a little bit more backstory of the daughter, Sasha, right? Um, a little bit more story to her, getting to know her character a little bit more. And then when it came to the part of her death, I felt like they took a little bit more of the emotions away of that scene compared to the video game where it was reflected a little bit more and built.
Spoilers.
I was thinking about that too. I was like, does it matter? Because this is like literally the 792nd version of this game that we've seen. So,
For real, like it's 720 80p, you know what I mean? Like
No,
it's the
what I'm
same.
saying is
I
they
mean, I
have
was
a
playing this on my PlayStation 692.
For
So,
real,
yeah.
for a second I thought I had my PlayStation on.
No,
I
but
was like,
for
oh.
real, there's Last of Us Part One, which is the 4K version of it.
Oh, okay. I mean, sure. I'm not
Uh,
gonna spend $60 on that. I mean, so that's like one of the takeaways that I will give it that it took away from that. It's just like I was just thinking, I was like, how are they gonna do this? You know what I mean? Like I already know that she's gonna die pretty soon. I didn't feel much of the emotions how I felt with the video game, but I don't know if that's just because I played it so much.
okay.
But for somebody new who's watching the game, I mean, who doesn't know any of the game or any of the story, who's watching this for the first time, I don't know if they felt something. My wife hasn't watched it yet. I saw it without her. Um, later on she's gonna watch it, and I want to watch it with her. I want to see how's her reaction. But so far, everybody else that I've talked to who don't know anything about the story, they somewhat got a reaction, but not that much. And I'm just like, oh, that sucks because
My my favorite meme that I keep going seeing around is the oh my gosh, what is it called? The Interstellar meme, where you know how he's like looking at himself like in the past, like behind the
Yeah.
wall or whatever,
Oh
and he's just like
yeah.
telling him, "No, no, stop, don't do it." Like he's like, and it's just like the on the other side is the guy like watching the scene.
Yeah.
It's like if I can
You-
only tell him what he's gonna about to go into.
oh
Uh,
yeah.
I
Like
haven't
I
seen
mean,
that.
fuck. I wish that's me. Want fucking Last of Us too. But going back into the first one, um, and then going to, of course, like the town in Boston. Um, it was, I felt like I was playing the game. It had like the same pace. It's a little slow world building. They introduced Ellie real fucking quick, like nothing, and then like it was like, let's look
Well,
for this guy for the battery.
well, to be okay, so this first episode is a little weird just because it's an hour and a half,
Yeah,
um, but
Which I
it's
thought
also
which I didn't notice at all.
oh, I completely noticed that. I was
Oh, here we
well,
go.
well, no, not because not when I was watching it. When because like when you pick the episode, it says an hour and 32 minutes. Like I was expecting like, I'm thinking in my head like, okay, Marvel has like 30, 45 minute episodes. So I'm like, I wonder how long this one is. An hour and a half? Is this a fucking movie? Like what's going
yeah.
on here? But
That's a short movie, all
but
right.
I was but it's actually two episodes. This was supposed to be two episodes, and where the first episode would have ended was with Joel throwing the kid in the fire. That's where it would have ended.
Really?
Oh, that would have been
Yes.
a bad first episode.
So it's like when you said that Ellie, they rushed to introduce Ellie. Not really, because that was
No,
45
no, no.
minutes into the fucking thing.
What I mean, what okay, what I meant is that the way that they introduce Ellie, she's in a room, locked up, chained up, and everything, and I'm just like, really?
Wasn't that how it is in the game? Like
No,
you
she
go
was
see.
free. No, she was free with the Fireflies, and when this girl and she was with this girl the whole entire time, protecting her, and everybody, all the soldiers were
Yeah, she wasn't. She wasn't. She was just like with them.
normal. She
It
was
wasn't like
free.
yeah.
She didn't
Oh
have
well,
any trust
but
issues.
I don't know. I just remember like meeting the chick in the room, and then it's like, oh, you got to take this girl with you.
Yeah, but it's not like she's a prisoner. This is more of
No, but
They
still,
made it seem like she was a prisoner and then she's
yeah.
not a prisoner. And I'm just like, what changed?
Well, I
Like,
mean, this is more of that was for her own protection, I guess, of her wandering away or running away.
I thought it was more of like making sure that she wasn't gonna turn because they were still doing tests on her.
I guess so. Yeah, that too.
yeah, that too. But at the same time, is that like I felt, but she said it herself, like, oh no, this is like 3 weeks ago and stuff like that. And so I was like, oh, I mean, it's just weird. I mean, maybe there is a backstory later on, like, oh yeah, I was chained up. But for now, it's just like, it's just weird. Like, I was
Well,
like, okay,
Sure.
that's,
Okay.
I'm sure we're gonna get to the DLC of her and her quote unquote friend. No, yeah,
The
it's a
flashbacks.
DLC.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a
more
Yeah, I
DLC.
know. I
likely.
know.
Probably later on. That's going to be like a flashback, more likely, I bet.
Yeah,
I never
Like
finished
one
that
of the
DLC.
for sure, for sure. But other than that, it was a good episode. I already know pretty much like the way that this episode was going. It's just like, okay, I already know exactly what's going to happen.
Okay.
So like I don't think it's fair for me to say like, yeah, it's predictable and shit like that because it's literally the fucking story. So like nothing really changed except for maybe just a little bit things like little sprinkles and stuff like that to make it into more of an entertaining show. So I think the first episode was a solid episode. I'm looking forward to the second episode when they're in the broken building with the clickers and all the other infected people to see how they're going to do that. And I think from there on, I think you can get a little glimpse of what to expect.
Mm.
And I really did like the beginning of how they showed like the people turning. I thought that was pretty cool, like the grandma
Mm.
and shit like that. So it was solid. It was solid.
Ham, your thoughts?
what was I gonna say about him? And he's like, no, no. And I'm like,
Did you use a pro controller?
uh,
Did you do
no,
your daily missions?
I use the Roku. All right. What? Oh, let me see here. What was he saying about something? I don't even know. I agree. It's a solid episode. You said it was supposed. Did they have an extra episode or take an extra episode off, or they just
No,
blended
this
it?
was two episodes put together as one.
But technically, it's still one episode, right?
It
Yeah.
is counted as one episode now. Yes,
Yes, because next one is episode 2, correct?
yes, because I think
Yeah.
this is now 9 episode season as opposed to would have been 10.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I did not notice that it was that long. I'm like, I think the beginning part sort of sets it up pretty well for people who hadn't played the game, and sort of sums up what are you going to see in the show about the fungus and all that.
I did like the beginning when they had the show, the talk show.
Yeah, I thought that was done very well. I
Yeah.
was surprised they would do something like that, but it was good. Good actors. I know a few of them in there.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know Pedro.
in that scene.
Oh.
um, huh. So the reason why this is better than Halo is because it's better. Yeah, I think it's solid. I mean, I'm treating it like if I read the book before, so it's like instead of a video game. Because when's the last time we had a video game to a TV show?
Resident Evil.
Oh yes, I've
Oh
seen those
shit! Oh
memes.
my god, I forgot about that.
I've seen those memes, and I only
And I
watched
actually
that first
thought that
episode.
one was okay.
um, and I guess Halo, yeah.
And Halo, yeah.
But yeah, Halo was completely a different story. I like everything about it.
There's no virgin in this one.
There's no virgin. What?
There's no Master Chief.
Gotcha. Um, yeah, I like everything. We'll see where it goes.
I'm
I
wondering
feel
how
like
they're gonna.
the what?
I wonder how they're gonna do like the school scene.
I don't
Uh,
remember the school scene.
You
is
remember
that
when
the
they?
bloater? Is that when they first meet the bloater?
Yeah,
That's what,
the bloater, and then
okay.
they first introduced with the guy with the weapons, like the traps.
Oh, I am a little disappointed we didn't get to see more of the infected, but that's fair. Maybe the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
mean that's how it was in the game. You didn't really see him until he
yeah,
got into the
that's
city.
but no, I give it a. Well, I guess we can't give it anything. I'll give this episode a green card for sure.
Hmm, interesting. I think mine is like a mix of both of your guys's, but I'm more strongly sided on one particular point. Um, did anyone else's PlayStation overheat when this was like 40 minutes in?
No.
Wow, no man, it was crystal cool. I think I was a little
Seriously,
cold.
like okay, so to first start off, I do want to remind that I sent you guys a text. I didn't see any reviews. I didn't see anything. I
I was
knew that
probably
night was gonna
drunk,
happen.
so
Well, I thought we were gonna record the night, but it ended up not happening. But I was like,
not
okay,
my
the first
fault.
episode comes out tonight. I'm gonna be like, listen, a video game adaptation to any other media does not have to be a 1-for-1 in order for it to be good. I said something like that,
Uh
and that was my argument for Halo, which I liked the Halo series. I thought it was very good, regardless of whether it was 1-for-1 or not. Um, what I will say for The Last of Us, uh, great casting. I loved all the actors for the parts that they played. Whoever did like the set design and the cinematography, all those people, like I think this shows that Sony was like, yeah, we got to spend all this money. We took DLC money from like all the other people, how we had to hijack their
oh
license.
yeah.
We're going to put it into this show so that way it looks good. And it does. It looks fantastic. The first part of the talk show part, the talk show scene,
Yeah.
probably my favorite scene out of the entire first episode, really. 'Cause
Really?
I like how it kind of sets it up, and it's like very
Yeah.
it's you don't see it's not it wasn't in the game. In the game you kind of had to figure out everything on your own, like putting together the pieces from the notes that you would read or the journals or whatever. I just thought it was like for those that didn't play the video game, this was like a great like starting point of like, oh, shit's gonna go down. um and like the one for one recreations of the scenes were cool. Like those were awesome to see. I guess a live adaptation of what those scenes look like from the game to real life.
Show me the
Um,
butt.
I'm I'm gonna go. I'm gonna strongly. I'm gonna be a little bit more aggressive about this than Mike was. Despite all of that being fantastic,
See,
right?
say it.
It would have been a green
Uh-huh.
card right off the bat for all
Uh-huh.
that.
Uh-huh.
I played the game. Why the hell am I still watching the show though? Like really why? There's nothing interesting that's
You
really
don't know that.
keeping
It's the
me
first episode.
that's keeping me from watching this more and more. The first episode is an exact recreation of the game, like 95%. Like there's nothing
Eh.
different. There's hard, and someone's gonna be like, "Well, there was two soldiers in that one scene." No, fuck it. It doesn't matter if there was two, four, three and a half. Someone got cut in half. I don't care.
Hey,
It's
in
still
the
the same.
game they were wearing boots. In this one they were wearing Air Forces.
But it's like I like the death scene. I'm pretty sure, and I think Mike said it. It was more impactful when you played it than
Yeah.
watching it.
Well, no,
And
that's what I was gonna argue, that they sort of flash back to it when he's punching the guard, and you feel a little bit more there as well.
but the thing is, like, if you're giving me a one for one, and this was the same argument I had for Halo, I rather
There's no
play it.
argument for Halo.
I rather play it than to watch it. Like this is why am I watching this when I can just boot up The Last of Us on my PlayStation and just play it instead? Like I'd rather have the control if this is the story that's going to go with rather than having a director just pretty much watch my Twitch stream and just be like, there you go. We're just gonna copy that. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna do that, that, and that. Like it just didn't feel like they were gonna take any risks with the story on this one. Now, is it the first episode? Can they still do take risks? Of course they could. But if this is like the setup for it, I I'm at this point I'm only really watching it out of just I don't want to say obligation, but just I just want to see what it looks like, right? What the clickers look like in a live action adaptation. What are you actually going to do? Is Joel going to throw the bottle exactly the same spot I threw the bottle in that one level? Like I don't know what's going to happen anymore. Like that's the only reason why I'm still watching it. Not anything for the story though, because let's face it, like unless they decide they're going to kill Ellie by the end of this season, where is this gonna go? Why why am I going to continue obsessively watching this if I
Mhm.
know how it's going to end?
So then we can watch season 2 and see
No,
Mike's
fuck
reaction.
you.
Well, and I could no, and that's the thing though, right? And I could have stronger
That's
opinions. And
why
I could have a stronger take on that because yeah, I played all of the part 2 and I loved every second of it. If the season like does the exact same beats as that one, think I'm going to still stand by what I'm saying right here is like it's not interesting to watch because I can play it and enjoy it more that way.
you know
Yeah,
what
but maybe.
I'm going to agree with Sal, and I understand 100% of what he's saying. Is that I still have this, I don't know if it's a guilt feeling or some type of way of the Last of Us 2 fucking broke me because I'm watching this episode and I'm just thinking, okay, what Sal said is that if they're gonna do the same exact thing what the first game did, what's the point of me watching it if I know I fucking hate the story of part two?
Well, then maybe this isn't for you guys. Maybe it's for people who never played it and know that it's a very good story.
I
And that's right there. It's like, wait, are you making this for cash grab? Like, hey, we
I
have a
don't think
great
it's cash. Well, I
story.
mean, everything's a cash
See,
grab, but
but despite like again, and this is why I'm going to defend Halo to my bone, except for the other girl, whatever her role was in that show, I
you
can't
mean
defend that
the
part.
the other 8 episodes or the whatever? How many? I don't.
Like I get
The
that
sex
people
scene?
would love to see the silent cartographer level as a like a live adaptation one for one. And people would love to see the warthog run one for one. They would love to see this about and yeah, sure it would be cool, but again, I'd rather play it than watch it. So what I really enjoyed from the Halo series was that I didn't know what the hell to expect. Like, yeah, sure, I
Something
get he's gonna use
better.
that plasma pistol, but I didn't know the context of the scene. I didn't know how he was going to get there. I didn't know what he was going to do. I didn't know if they were going to
Poorly.
see these certain aliens or whatever. Like it was all like for me it was all unexpected. I did not know what was going to happen, and that's what I enjoyed, and it still kept to the theme of humanity. Where The Last of Us, it's everything's the same as the game. It's not interesting anymore. Like, do something different for me so that way I can feel somewhat like I want to be left out of the loop a little bit so that way I can have some sort of incentive to watch the next episode.
I think this is just for the masses. I mean, this it's a great story, and then it's just trying to reach more people.
But again, like you don't think though that this story, like, okay, think about where we are now, right? All these years have passed. This story has not been overplayed already.
Also, I don't. You played it recently. I haven't played it since it came out, so I'm
No,
trying to
but
remember.
you're
I
saying
So
you're
played
saying
it
for
a
the
lot.
masses, you're saying for the
yes,
masses have seen all of these zombie type movies. Has it not been overplayed?
no, because this is a great
Uh,
story.
yeah, this is a great story, and I don't think they use the infection as the strong point of it. I think
Yeah,
they
it's
use the
about the
whole.
characters.
It's about the characters and the world around it. Of that, of course, you have this infection that's going around, and it is terrifying. But also, too, you have all the other people that's murderers, rapists. You know what I mean? Out there in the world.
The Walking Dead did that does the same thing.
That wasn't that
No, The
wasn't a great
Walking
story
Dead.
throughout. So
The Walking Dead. It wasn't. They were staying in one set. In this one, Last of Us is that they travel and they don't stay in one area, and it's
What?
more
The Walking
compelling.
Dead, they ran into like multiple communities and like
yeah, no, no,
and
no. I don't
sometimes in
want to
various
hear anybody's
states.
opinion of The Walking Dead. You didn't
No.
finish it, so bam.
Well, even still, they're in a completely different place. Like, or okay, so like if you take
It's a
you
different story, man.
you're
It's a
saying they're
different
traveling
story.
because when you first started saying about like oh like the Z's or whatever is terrifying whatever I kept the first thing that popped into mind was what's that one that you guys like Alive I think it was where
Yeah,
the kids in the hotel room or in the apartment or whatever the entire time and it
yeah.
was
Oh, I
you
didn't
know
like that.
I liked it.
I didn't.
well there you go I don't know it's just again I think the story I feel like the only thing really different between the zombie stereotypes out there and this one is just really that it's not a zombie thing. It's not like you're mutating because of a genetic thing. It's just like a fungus, like it's an actual literal real thing that can happen. But everything else I just feel like is the same as
I don't
like
know.
the
You're
same
just
beats as
stuck on
anything
the
else.
zombie aspect, so I don't know.
Because what else like would you compare it to? Like
I'm not
it's
trying to compare
But
it to
it's not
anything.
zombies. This is an. It's a. It's a
which they said in the
fungus.
first scene that they compared it to like zombifying and bending the mind of of the person that
It's that
to
the fungus lets takes over the host but doesn't kill the host.
I would have preferred if the Last of Us if this series would have been like a prequel leading up to the game
And I hope season two
Mm,
is the second game, so we have more
because I
time
think it
to
would have been
their
cool to see
yeah.
characters.
where Joel like how does Joel develop to be like a cold like hearted asshole where he's able just to throw a kid into the fire without any emotion or like how did
It's
Ellie
just his
like get
daughter's
through
death.
the
Yeah, I
training
mean
or
we could figure
whatever.
that out easily.
Yeah.
But I'd rather see that transition happening rather than just be like, oh, there it is right there. That neglect everything in between. Like, I don't
True.
know, like how they build up the communities, how the Fireflies was first started. You know, have like a little bit of an Andor kind of situation there. I don't know. I rather have seen the prequel leading up to the game
Or
as opposed to just
Tommy.
seeing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You can watch that on the spin-off show.
So, also another interesting thing, whether you guys are gonna listen to it or not, they're doing their own podcast, where
oh yeah.
after each episode, they talk about the episode and like some of the decisions that they made, and that's how I found out that the this episode was supposed to be two. He talks about like
Mm,
how they were just gonna leave it at that point and not introduce Ellie until the second episode, but
I
the
think.
director said otherwise or just thought it would be more impactful this way or whatever.
Mhm.
And I thought the podcast was interesting, so I'm
They
willing
have
listening to it.
pod. Yeah, they have podcasts with all their HBO exclusives. That's what's pretty cool about it. They had
Oh,
one too
really?
for House of Dragons. I think they had one for White
Yeah.
Lotus.
Oh yeah, I finished that. That was great.
Yeah.
Do they have one for uh
Next.
yeah, that show? No, do they have the one for the weird Apple show? The
The
weird one
weird
with what's his name?
Apple show.
Barry?
Servant Cirquus Sequit. What was it?
Well, watch your mouth.
Oh, is that
the
the? Oh, I don't know.
the one that your work person is someplace and then your real life person is somebody else.
I think you're confusing with the Apple TV show.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but that's
Okay,
Apple
okay,
TV.
yeah. My fault,
All
my
right.
bad, my bad.
Or episode 2 premiered, I think, already. So we will talk about this series again in about 9 weeks because they're not doing an all binge kind of ordeal. It's a
No,
weekly thing.
weekly thing.
So
Yeah,
2 more months until we wrap it up and then talk our final thoughts. And I'm just hoping that there's something different that happens along the
yeah.
way, like significantly different, not like guy has a pistol instead of an AK-47 or whatever. I don't know. Something
Mm,
actually that's impactful to
I
the story.
I am happy if they just keep it like the game.
I just hope they
Question
don't
for you,
fucking
Mike.
do part two.
Question for you, Mike. What if they introduce Abby in the next couple episodes?
You know what? I will accept that
Wait, what? Why?
because I don't know if you guys remember in my review of the podcast is that
Nope.
I felt like the story part two was real force, and I think the emotional part with Abby was not built right. And I think if
Oh,
the
you think she
show
came out of nowhere?
she came out of nowhere and then you just
Oh.
were forced to play with her, and then of course there's people that like her, but the thing is that I just didn't feel a connection at all with her. Even playing with her like 12 fucking hours.
Oh, I forgot you. Yeah, I forgot you could play as her.
That was
Yeah.
like the majority of the game, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm
No, was
saying.
it?
So it was just like, what the fuck? Like, so if they could build that character up from the ground up, I think part two story with a little bit more changes could actually be a very impactful story.
Mm.
Actually,
At least for me. So
that would have been cool if you could have controlled one of them at the end, and it would have been a different story at the end. That would have
yeah,
been
or you could, or it could be a choice game.
yeah, that would have been interesting.
I'll just
But
use
of
my
course,
game
if
shark.
we're talking about the show, but if they introduce Abby and then it's just like, okay, what can they do better that the other?
I would find that interesting if like halfway through the season they just introduce Abby just like a little here and there and to kind of get you prepped to like what will come later on.
I
We're
feel
also
like
under the assumption that season 1 is going to end where the first game ends.
that's what I understood as well. But I mean, if they did introduce her in season one, I'd assume it'd be in the last episode.
True. All right. Here we go. Last topic of this geez, it's already been 50 minutes in this podcast.
Jesus, what
Uh
happens when you talk about Last of Us?
Blame Mike.
Alice in Borderlands 2, the long-awaited sequel that I've been really much looking forward to. Him as well, Mike.
Yep.
Mike.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it, but I was not excited as you guys.
Yeah, because I the first one, what was it that
I give it a
you?
yellow.
Yeah,
It was
because
it
what was
was
it because
me.
of
I
the
think I
lack
talked
of
about it.
games?
Lack of games and less character. Well, not less character development. I just didn't care about the characters.
The characters, yeah,
That's
the
right.
characters
Yeah.
are a little
Yeah.
bland compared to Squid
Yeah,
Games. But Squid Games, hey, I think they did also announce a second season coming out this year.
yeah.
Maybe. That's right. Because I remember you had issues, Mike, with the episode with him and his friends, and that you didn't really buy into that
I,
whole story
yeah,
as
I
to
didn't buy
why he
into
was
it.
so attached.
It was just too early, I think, and I was still trying to get into the characters, and then this happened. It's just like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, you just eliminated these characters. I guess it's a lot more easier to try to invest into another person. Sure, why not?
So season 2 picks up pretty much right where we left off with season 1,
Yeah,
where
Hmm.
in season 1 they cleared out all the cards basically, and now you get the king queens of each of
And
the
Jax.
respective king queen and jacks of the respective what is it, symbols, what do you call them, color suits
Suits.
Suits, yes.
of each suit.
Good show.
And
Good show.
these are like the head honchos, basically, like the top tier ones. Are supposed to be extremely difficult, more dangerous than all the other ones that all the other games and all the other people they faced beforehand. And it dives deeper into the story because they're still motivated to figure out how the fuck are they going to get out of this world that they believe that they're in, to their world, to their real world counterpart. And yeah, that's these episodes longer than the first season, because it felt like
Yes, they
it.
were a lot longer.
Yeah, because I remember one
You
episode was
sure?
like an hour and 15
Well,
minutes,
they
I
felt
think.
long.
They did feel long. Yes.
Yes.
So I mean, I don't know if when they started producing these episodes, but I mean, I don't know if they did this thinking that. Well, I guess they could go in thinking like, oh, we're probably not get season 3, so might as well do as much as we can here.
Yeah.
Maybe,
So,
but I also know this is based off of manga.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
Oh, I
comic
think
book.
you
Yeah.
brought that up last time. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. All right. We'll go around cards and then backtrack to what we liked or disliked about season 2 of Alice in Borderlands. Oh, really
Borderlands.
quick though, did everyone watch it dubbed or not dubbed?
Not dubbed.
Oh, look
I
at
watch
you.
it. I respect the language because I watch anime.
It
I have.
defaulted to English for me, and I had to change it to not dub.
Oh no no no
um,
no.
I watch anime too, dubbed, so dubbed in
Oh,
English.
you're a disgrace.
Terrible. You didn't get the full emotions that everybody
No,
got.
nothing.
I gave the season 1 a green card. Ham, you gave it a green card, I believe,
I
and
think
Mike is a
so.
yellow.
And I gave it a yellow.
Yep. Okay. All right. Here we
Yeah,
go. Season 2. Mike.
green card.
Whew,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Okay.
Ham.
Green card.
Nice. I'm not as I just Mike's too much of a slut, so I can't be like him. So I'm not gonna give my gold card to this one yet.
Oh, whoa,
Oh
I'm
whoa.
gonna
wow, what a slide!
I'm gonna give it a green card. This is okay. There
A
we
hat
go.
trick.
The
Hat trick
trifecta.
right
All
there.
right,
Wow.
wow.
Um, the first thing I just want to go to off the top of my head right now is that the final episode was a total mind fuck.
Oh, it was
Like
fucking with viewers for sure.
Yeah.
like the first time. Okay, so God, I don't know how we want to go about this because I feel like there's
Spoilers.
spoilers. Obviously, people spoilers. Not as many games to see as I thought there was gonna be. But I feel like the games that they capitalized, they spent I think almost what 2 episodes each game.
2 episodes each game, but it was such an impactful game
Yeah, there
too.
Yeah.
was there was significant not just character development, but I feel like part of also the storytelling to like the world and understanding where these other characters come from, and just like what their mindset is, whether they've given up and just accepted what's happening, or they're still panicking somehow yet because they've gotten this far and they still don't know what the fuck's going on.
Also, except for
um
that, the quick montage where they like finish a bunch of games in what, five
Oh, that
minutes or
was
something.
weird.
Yeah, the
well,
montage.
they couldn't do all the suits. They didn't know they were going to be season 3, so they had to do something.
I
Um,
guess.
because what we had first, well, I don't even know how you count as a game. Is it like a hunter, like what's the story called where the guy's hunting the man, the human, like there's like a person
Oh,
hunting.
Manhunt.
Is that what it's called? Just manhunt?
I think so. Yeah, like
I
yeah,
was gonna say sort of
Manhunt.
like a hide and seek, but
Yeah,
I
but
don't
it's like
know.
based off of that, right? Like manhunt. So you have that,
Yeah.
which is the jack of clubs, was it, or jack of spades?
I don't
No, I
remember.
think it was the King of
Or
Spades,
Keen of
wasn't it?
Spades, Keen of Spades. We had that game. We had tag, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You had this
You
what do
had.
you call it? Decision making. Like they had to like guess the number. Like
Oh,
guess
they have
who?
to guess their card.
Guess
Their
who? The
Oh,
number
that's a
edition.
different game.
Oh wait, there was two though that they had to guess. Okay, so there's one where they're sitting in like the court, and they had to guess like what was
the
the average of
numbers.
everyone's numbers.
Yeah.
And then there's the other game though where they had to tell each other or rely on each other
Yeah, true or false, or
for
like a bullshit sort of.
yeah, bullshit actually, yeah. Oh my god, Yeah, holy shit. I
Yeah.
never thought about that. Like people play bullshit with these cards. Yeah, that's the
Cards.
same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So there's that one. What else is there? There's the croquet. Right. That's the
Croquet.
last game.
Yeah, crooked.
There's another
Well, the
tag game, but with points.
with,
Dodgeball, is it?
No, not isn't it? It's not really dodgeball. The first kind of major game that
Oh,
they
the first
play.
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like like tag.
well, yeah, you just like you're the base. Like capture the
Capture
flag,
the flag, I
sort of.
guess you could say. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Um.
don't forget the killing one.
So all the games I thought were good. Um. I only have really two nitpicks that I'll just get out of the way. Number one, they kept bringing up the visa thing, and I feel like, are we really still going to harp on this? Because either you're going to keep reminding us, or you're just going to scrap this thing altogether. Because I felt like it made no point. There was no point in bringing it up at all in this
Yeah,
entire
I
season.
totally forgot about it this season. Did they really keep bringing it up?
I
No,
think
no, no. They only brought it up, I think, like
with the
three
little kid.
times. And like
Yeah, the
each
little
time, I
kid,
was
but
like, do you really need to bring it up? Because I don't know if anyone's questioning that at this point.
yeah,
Like,
I really didn't.
Um, and the other one, that I guess I have a nitpick on, but I kind of recovered from it was the when they finally were it's the final game with the hide and seek thing with they're trying to take down the king of spades or whatever, the king of clubs, and everyone should have just been dead. Like,
Well, see,
what? How the
Oh
fuck are you
yeah.
surviving this? Like,
I
you
do
get
have a nitpick because that was a game that wasn't really like you didn't have to sign in or do anything. I'm like, that's kind of the weird one out of all of them. You didn't have to, I mean, I
I,
guess the other one too. No, they signed up for that one too. Season one with
Are you
the
talking about the
witch.
stadium one?
No, I'm talking about where they had to kill the guy. Basically, there was like no
king of,
Oh
entry.
yeah, the manhunt. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's like
It,
free for all.
yeah, I just feel it weird that there was no like
Well, I think that's what
scoreboard
it
or
is. It's a free for all.
yeah, but
It's like if you're in,
But no,
if
but
you're in
my
the
thing
red
is that
zone.
like these people are getting shot straight up. Like there's
yeah,
no like you're seeing the bullets go through their fucking heads and stomachs,
uh
and
huh.
yet they're still alive and
Oh,
they're
at the end,
crawling
yeah.
and they're still doing all. I'm like, what is happening? Why are we doing this? You have such great momentum here from season one all the way to this, and you're gonna pull this shit.
Well, yeah, no, I
But
thought the guy was
then,
lying when he was
but
like, "Yeah, they're okay." I'm like, "What?"
But then, though, it kind of started making sense for none of that should have been taken seriously because of the final episode, where
I
again
guess.
they totally mind fuck with you.
Yeah,
Like he finally gets to the point where he's talking to is it the Queen of Hearts, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
And
the Queen of Hearts.
and he's like, and she's like, "Oh, I'll tell you everything, whatever. You just got to finish this game, 3 rounds, blah blah, whatever." And they forget to a conversation though, where you start to kind of forget the initial rules, because like as soon as like she was telling the second story, I was like, "Oh my god, I get what she's trying to do. She's trying to stall because if she stalls long enough, he's gonna have to just pretty much say, forget it. Like I'm quit. I'm done. I'm stuck here forever. I don't want to finish this game." Because like her first story was like they were it's not the aliens one. That was the second
It's the
story she told.
It,
meteor
it was
shit.
no, it was the
Yeah, the meteor
future.
shit.
No,
Yeah. Uh, say what was it, Ham?
it's the future one where they were so in the future that they couldn't uh I feel emotions or something, so they
Like
had
a
to have
Ready Player One type of ordeal.
either had to be adrenaline based because now they couldn't die, so they had to be in like a life or death
Right.
scenarios.
And then the second one was the aliens.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I'm just kidding, whatever. Here's what really happened. And then she's like, oh, forget, like, this is also made up. And then he gets so aggravated and it builds up tension again to where, like, now she's like saying, here's like the actual truth. But then you're like in this insane asylum. It's like, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah,
how it
like
really
Alice in
is.
Borderland or like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, oh man, and I'm believing this the whole entire way through. And then I'm thinking, like, wait, she's talking to her to try to prevent her from helping him. So wait, is this another fucking mind thing again? And it just keeps doing that. I'm like, God, this whoever wrote this episode was brilliant. I thought
But
this was well written and well directed all the way throughout.
well, my question is, how did she have the power to convince him like that? That's my only nitpick. It's like, oh, she is convincing him in a way that he believes it. Like I don't.
hallucinogen. She must have what is it? They
Like the
drank
tea,
tea. Yeah, they must have put some hallucinogens in the tea or something.
but you can't even say that because of the actual thing. So I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, the whole thing was great. I loved this season. I think it I almost want
Can
to go on a limb and say that it did better than the first season, but
for
that's still
sure,
not
yeah.
to that's not like to downplay the first season. Like I still think the first season was great, and the fact that they were able to do that and then do better was I think was well done. And then the ending, I love how it ended because is it really the true ending for it? Like I just thought
Uh,
that whole question mark there because even the whole time when that whole last scene was playing out, not when they were like in their quote unquote real world, but like even when the Queen of Hearts was still talking, I was like, in the card decks, there's still that Joker. Like, who the like are they gonna address that card, or are they just saying like, nah, that's not part of this whole thing? And the fact that they ended it with that, I was like, all right, season 3 it is. Got it. All right, I'm gonna wait. So I already spoke too much. All right, whoever wants to go.
Go ahead.
I swear I saw somewhere. I don't know if I can look that up again. But this was the last season.
Oh
And I
no.
I also saw in the manga they also ended it like that as well. It's not,
Oh
yeah.
man.
So I think maybe that's just like a haha to the viewers or readers. Um, Joker is maybe real life. I don't know, but yeah, I think all the episodes were great. I was done. God damn, I think all of them were top notch. Like I said, the nitpick of that last one with that, I'm like, yeah, it was cool, but I'm like, but how is she doing that? Whatever. Was there one I did not like? Hmm, I don't know. But some of the explanations still seemed a little off. But mm, that. And like I said before, when you were talking about them like getting shot, I'm like, yeah, no, they're dead. And I'm like, oh, they're not. I guess maybe that's why they sort of have characters from the first season that you thought were actually dead, but they come out of nowhere. In my because I forgot the burnt guy. I'm like, where was he from again? I'm like, I don't remember. And then the hat guy shows up. Not Hatter, but Hatter's I guess number one
Yeah.
shows up again, and I'm like, oh, I almost forgot about him, but he's imagining Hatter, so I'm like, oh, okay, so he's that guy again, and then the random girl with the leg, like where'd that come from?
Yeah. Just because. Dramatic
Yeah,
effect.
so that just threw me off a little bit. But those are just small things. But yeah, I really enjoyed this series. I mean, if they did make a third season, I don't know how they would, but that'd be cool. I'd watch it. Um, yeah, top notch, top notch. I feel like I like the characters better this season than the first one.
All right, Mike.
Um, First of all, I want to say, you guys remember the text that I sent out?
Nope.
Something you were like, episode. Yeah, you were wrong though about your theory.
I was wrong, but somewhat right.
What was the theory?
He,
I said, I feel like I'm in episode 4. I said, I'm episode 4 right now, but I have a theory saying that I feel like the people who've died, right, wake up in the real world and realize that they're precious. Like they're how can I say this? They live on being humble and everything if they are humble in the gaming world
Well,
as
they
well.
don't even remember what happened.
well,
Exactly. So, but that's the
and to
thing,
be
though.
fair though, like every game though was always about like going back to the value of life. Like,
Yeah, the
how do
value
you
of life.
view
Yeah,
life? How do you value those in your life? Like that's how it always has been since the first season.
So,
yeah,
but this is what they never really explained, or maybe they did, and I did not notice. So the people who actually died during the games, they just
they're
died,
dead.
right?
They're dead, I believe, in the real world because this is why, like, this is why that my nitpick of like everyone should have been dead weren't really dead because they're still alive in the real world.
Yeah.
somewhat, or they're in the hospital.
Well, they're
Yeah,
fighting. They're fighting for their
paralyzed,
lives,
coma. Yeah, they're fighting for their lives
literally and
basically,
sort
which
of
is what they're
metaphorically
essentially doing
speaking.
in this season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, okay. But yeah, I mean, even though I was wrong, but at the same time, I somewhat felt some type of way like that. But I did not expect for the ending to be that way. So, I mean, first of all, the reason why I gave the first one a yellow card was because I didn't care about the characters. The games were very interesting. I wanted a little bit more. And me jumping into a green for this season because I felt the games were super interesting. The characters, honestly, were actually really good, and I cared about them. Of course, they were like little bit backstories, and in my back of my head, I was like, why is there backstories? Like, sure, of like who were they before they got into this world and somewhat, but the ending connects everything perfectly together,
Hmm.
and it's just like holy fuck, like this, it's a mind fuck, you know. And I really did enjoy every single game, every character. I will say though, my nitpick of it is that it was a bit dragged on, a little bit. Some certain episodes that I
Maybe.
felt like you could have cut down a little bit more, and definitely made the episodes a little bit shorter for somewhat. But it's fine as a little nitpick and whatever. But still, though, the show is still interesting, and I was a bit confused of the ending. I'm like, wait, so like you have a meteor that crashed down and all these people are affected by the meteor's powers?
No.
Powers? No, they were no.
Or
They're
They're basically like in limbo.
yeah, like limbo, like I mean they're all knocked out and they're in the hospital, but like their conscience are in Alice in Borderlands world.
Yeah, but it's not so much of a power. I mean, unless you're thinking like they were like warped to some sort of alternate world or whatever. It's not like that. The way I took it again, because the whole series has always been about life and like what do you find value in your life, and that's why I kind of like the little flashbacks they kept doing, or the dialogue with the friends where they're like, man, what are you gonna do? Like you're
Wait,
great.
wait, were their friends alive or dead?
They were
Their friends were
alive.
dead. No, the friends were dead.
What?
Survivor's guilt.
But he
That was a legitimate thing that was brought up at the end.
Oh, okay.
He
No, no, no. That
didn't
that was
die. His friends died.
okay.
I thought
Yeah,
I
no,
saw them.
that was that's when he
We're talking
was.
about the two friends, his two closest friends.
Yeah, didn't I see them in the end of the episode?
No, so yes, they when they were doing the lead up to what really happened,
Okay,
and
no, no, the survivor guilt. That was the fake one where
no,
they
but it was
thought.
Oh,
actually real though because his friends died and he survived when he shouldn't have, and that's why he's so fucking messed up
But yeah,
because
no,
he
but that was
lost his
also
friends.
the story in the he was in the asylum because his
Yes,
friends died. Okay, I just don't remember. I don't remember if they were alive or not at
that
the
was
end.
the most consistent thing though throughout the
mm,
that
Yeah,
part was that his friends died and he survived,
yeah.
and he always felt like, and this is harps back to the beginning of the season series, was that you kind of saw him as like, he ain't doing anything with his life, like he's not doing shit and he can't like stick to a job. His father's a little disappointed in him, but his friends see something in him and his friends are trying to encourage him, trying to motivate him, trying to do make him do better for his life, and they're successful in their own way. And for this to happen and for him to like be the one to live, he doesn't think he should live. He thinks he should be dead because his life is meaningless to him in his head. His friends are the ones that should have kept going because they were so successful. And that's why he's so fucked up the way that he is. And like this, it's not like the meteor gives them like transports them whatever. It's literally like what happens in your mind, like how do you fight for your life? And this is just kind of like what, I don't know how to say it. Like this is just what your mind imagines it to be, and this is
Yeah,
what it was for him. This is what he was trying to figure out in his own way. Does he have purpose in life? Is his life valuable? Is he meaningful? Does he make an impact on people? And that's what was his whole journey from episode 1 until this point.
Yeah, which, but everyone was sharing that same experience, though.
Well, we don't know really, do we? Like, we don't
I
know if this
think we
is
do
really from
because
everyone
they
else's point of view
survived.
or his point of view, though.
No, but they survived because of through the games and how they started to sort of start seeing, oh, I have to be this to survive the game. So I think it was a shared experience because
Maybe because like you had that, but you had the interaction between him and the girl where
yeah,
she doesn't
exactly.
remember him at all, but he still does remember her.
Yeah, it's a
I
thing,
still
you
think
know.
it's just from his perspective, and I don't think anyone else really experienced it. I think it was just supposed.
Really?
No, like I don't think like I think that's what the fun thing about the last episode is like, do you still think this is a total mind fuck and there is something, bigger and more grand about it, or is it really just as simple as like, he's trying to fight for his own life, and we're just are we looking at what the messages were for all the episodes throughout, or are we trying to think of this as some sort of, bigger hero villain type of, series or whatnot?
No, just because we saw the backstory of other characters, I'm thinking no, they were sharing the same experience because you have the whole backstory of he was the doctor, blah blah blah, the white hair guy, and then he finally's like, oh, I'm gonna play it my way or something. So I don't think it was
Okay,
just
no, that's a
him.
valid point. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, even the girl, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna stay here. I don't deserve to go back." And then she then changes her mind, and then like, "Oh yeah, okay then." So yeah, I don't think it was just him.
Mike, anything else to add?
Well, no, I was gonna ask, what was your favorite game in season two?
Honestly, my favorite game has to be probably be the beginning.
Really, I think that was
The
Uh, the tag, like
the capture
the
the flag kind of
the
ordeal, the
storage.
point.
Yeah, the
yeah,
storage. Yeah,
because the storage, because I felt like every other single game didn't have the same emotions like that game itself. You had like you were invested in the band itself. Like, these guys all like were a family together, and this guy was holding them together, and he was like they trusted him, and he knew that they were trusting him. And even though they lost, they're like, it's okay. He did the best he can, and we lived a good life. And they
Hmm.
died. And also too, like this poor kid, the one who chopped off his hand, I forgot his name, but and I'm not gonna pronounce their names. I'm fucking terrible. Don't please. But the one who cut off his arm to win the game, like it was had such an emotional impact. I was like, holy fuck. So I would say like that was my favorite game out of all of them. So like I honestly I think this show did a great freaking job on expectations of like I asked for better games. I got that. Better character development. I got that for sure. There was even a little romance between the girl and the main character. I bought into that. I liked it.
which
I thought
they started in season one, I think.
Barely though, just barely.
Barely
barely,
when they
barely.
got to the beach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. I mean, they got to the beach and they left together, but they were like, "Hey, we're stuck together, I guess."
Okay.
And in this one, they were definitely like
Yes, a lot more for
a
sure.
lot more, and they were counting each other to be good, and I would say the tag game was pretty good too. But I really did like the one of guessing game, the like bullshit game, like we had to
I
like,
think that was my favorite.
Yeah,
th-
that one was
y-
really, yeah, probably the best.
yeah, that one was really intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, even that guy, I don't even know his name, but white hair guy.
Yeah,
Um,
he became like a good like side slash almost another major character that I started liking a lot.
yeah, yeah, I think the bikini girl, I think they were trying to do the same thing with her, but I don't think it landed as well.
No, no.
But it was like okay, it was okay, but definitely like the side, like for a side story, that guy right there, I think they did a really good job, and especially the one with the math. Like I didn't understand that game whatsoever. I just know like, yeah, you click on 100, I win. If you click on zero, you lose. It's like, holy fuck, is you gonna click on zero? Because
Yeah.
that shit was hard.
Yeah.
But
Um,
but overall, I would recommend this show.
it's an early contender for my gold card for sure.
Nice,
Mm.
nice, nice.
Yeah. All right. Season 3, Ham, make it happen.
Okay.
I honestly think this show
No, I
is
don't
better
where it
off
is.
where it is. I think
Yeah,
it had a
I agree.
beautiful ending.
As much as like it's cool that they kind of teased a possibility of this still not being a real world or something else bigger in play, I think it's cool just to kind of leave that up in the air for
Yeah, for
people to
sure.
figure out for what what that means to them.
Which
Yeah,
it sort of got spoiled, but I'm like, oh, really? Like, I don't know. It wasn't really a big spoiler, but whatever.
Yeah.
this show is
Cool.
definitely perfect to watch back to back. Like after you're done with season one, immediately jump to season
A
two.
binge it, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Cool.
definitely good. And then I have another contender to get my Becky card. Is that Knock in the Cabin?
What? You watched that?
No. I
It's not
mean,
even out, is it?
I was gonna say, is it even out?
no, it comes out next month. But my Becky card is ready.
Well, we're not watching it. All right, Mike,
Ooh.
do that thing you're supposed to do.
Hey guys, follow us on social media on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube,
That's about it.
WRMA Cast. WRMA Cast on those three social media platforms, and write us an email of what you guys thought. If you guys did I don't know, if you guys watched the show, write us an email. Han will write to you. Or if you have any questions, we would like to do Q&A, guys. Let's build up this. Subscribe. Hit that. Subscribe button, like, notification.
The email is drunkcop.ateacher@gmail.com.
Yes, drunkcop.ateacher@gmail.com.
Mike's ramping up his Instagram game. You saw you put a post. I was like, oh, Mike
Yeah,
posted something on here. Here we go.
yeah,
Well, no,
man.
I saw it. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know.
No, man, you gotta just keep on. Like, Mike's ready for his Becky card. You know what I mean?
I was gonna comment, but then I'm like, never mind.
All
Yeah.
right. I don't know what's up next, but we've already ran this episode way too long, so we're just gonna cut it here. Gentlemen, any final words?
Um. Hey, Ham. I think your hearts. Go in that room.
What?
Hearts, like
Oh,
guessing the guessing
bullshit.
game.
Got it.
Bullshit. He didn't get
I think he
it.
died.
Oh
Oh
no, I
no.
was gonna say I was waiting for my turn. I'm like, Mike, you are also hearts.
Fuck, I'm scared. That should be good, a drinking game.
That would be. Oh God. Oh, yeah. Make it happen.
Make it
I
happen.
have